technology and me. Right. Sadly, everybody, you know now that Mark, the bowler hat farmer, who we all know and love, cannot be with us in person today. But I've taken this opportunity 2 days before the conference to catch up with Mark and say, how is the Faulkner System tour going? Where are we at and where are we going? Mark, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Liz, a pleasure as ever. Well, where are we at present? We're in Lincolnshire. We've done one loop of the country so far, up as far as from Land's End up to Burnley. We are presently in Lancashire before we head to the weekend. We're over to Worksop, then up to Cheshire, then across to Rotherham before we head to Newcastle, and then we'll be spending some time in County Durham. And then we head home again before we head down to the down south, New Forest direction, before we head back up to the Midlands, and then we are away to Cumbria before we head up to John O'Groats.
Well, what more can I say? And you're quite right. I know you had a terrible problem with your ups and downs, and you said a minute ago Lancashire, but you meant Lincolnshire. But we know that it's okay. We know that. I know that you've been stuck in Suffolk for many, many years, and the rest of the country is now it's wide open to you. Isn't it wonderful?
I think what's amazing about this tour is obviously, one, we're going to interview farmers. 2, we're getting to go around and do talks. 3, we're getting to meet some amazing people. But 4, the only reason we have been able to do this tour is because of other people's generosity. People putting us up, people feeding us, people, donating to us to keep this alive. And Liz, the numbers are growing. The people that are supporting us online, social media, we've got up to about 77,000 now. We've got farmers contacting us left, right and centre to go and interview them, to tell us about what they're up to on the positive side of what's going on with them on the regeneration of farms. We've got, Liz, we've been down to Land's End. We know we're going up to John O'Groats, and everywhere in between, we're seeing positive stuff coming on farms. This is farmers that are really fighting back against the bullshit of net zero. That are going to get back against the green agenda. They are kicking back against the fact that people are trying to take their animals. They are kicking back against the chemical companies and the big pharma. They are absolutely starting to understand. And the biggest thing, Liz, what's impressed me is as the numbers are growing across the country, which are following us and following on our journey of documenting all this, some of the last events we did, which were Wendover, Northampton and Bedford, we're getting I think some of those are up to 600, nearly 700 people liking them now on social media and commenting and so forth. The numbers are growing. And Liz, as you know, we always ask the one question, like we did at Thetford when we did the Great Resist. We asked this one question: do people want to buy chemical-free food directly from a farmer? Directly could mean via a box scheme farm shop or direct from the farm gate. Do people want to do that? Yes. They're desperate for farmers to step up to the point and supply them with chemical-free food. But Liz, not only are the public asking for it, the farmers are starting to step up. We've witnessed, we were in Truro. There was a guy who was grass feeding beef and got chickens grazing around on the grass behind them in little huts. We've seen organic farmers that are taking on more and more land. We've seen the electric culture with Francesco, and I did a talk on that last night in Mablethorpe about that, and 50 people in the room, Liz, and they all want more information. They're all starting to understand they need to put the goodness back in the ground. I've had a company contact me from down in Cardiff, want me to go and see them what make compost. Liz, there's so many exciting projects going on across the country, and I know it's very easy for us guys in the truth movement or conspiracy, whatever we are these days. I forget, I get called so many things. But the one thing I am sure of, that people are starting to wake up en masse, and the farmers are definitely responding. And Liz, the new people getting into farming is absolutely unbelievable. We've been witnessing this all over the country. We always ask the question in the rooms in the evenings, is there anyone recently bought some land? And there's people buying just a few acres. There's people setting up community projects. there is more food going to be produced in the forthcoming years. And, you know, I interviewed a very good guy the other day, a guy called Ken, who does trees, and they're now starting to look at the possibility of a donation of fruit trees out to the market. There's so many things happening. It's really humbling to see that we've gone on this journey at the same time people are waking up, so we're getting the opportunity to really be able to spread the word. So yeah, good news all round.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. I could almost weep, Mark, with joy in one way, but you know, it's taking us back to where we were when I was a child. I mean, I'm a lot older than you, but we both come out of farming. We still farm, as you know. We had you all down in March for the electroculture, and I can report on the electroculture is really going well. I had a measly weeny hop growing up a pole for the last 4 years, and this year it's right next to the tower. And I have got shoots. I am not joking. They are the size of my little finger, and not one measly vine. There are shoots everywhere, and the leaves, instead of being like little ivy leaves, they're like fig leaves. I could wear them out like Adam and Eve, you know, in the garden, and they'd be wonderful. You can't imagine the difference. And so we can actually say that it is working, because I've worked the land for so many years, like you, that we all know what it was like. And so we can say it's
one of the things, Liz, Gloria and I went down to visit some Nat and Louise down in Gerrard's Cross. And they've set up an organisation called Organity. And so they get organic food from all different suppliers and supply it out to local food hubs. This was an amazing project. And you know what, Liz? I see lots of projects come and go across the country, especially on the organic veg, because it's quite difficult to get. They've got a really good working relationship. But you know what, Liz? Of all the things they've set up, and I've seen set up across the country, and we know that they deliberately tried to break this during 2020, is the girls have set up a project where it involves the community, and it's all about the community, not about the food. And we were there when they were putting the boxes together, and as people come in, pulling up on the drive, they've got a massive driveway. The drive was full of cars, people having a cup of coffee together, having a slice of cake, what they were bringing with them to share around. They were collecting their boxes, talking about the veg they were getting. Everyone was having a cuddle. It was just an absolutely beautiful thing to witness. And I said to the girls, look, I don't know how I get involved in this project moving forward, but please let me, because it just ticked every box. You know, we were down in Glastonbury. We went to visit Crops Not Shops, great community projects, what they're setting up. We've witnessed so many things, Liz, over the country. And bear in mind, only so far. We're halfway through the tour. We know we've been invited up to the West Coast in Scotland. We're hoping to get across the Northern Ireland. We're going right up. We've been invited up to Caithness, just outside John O'Groats. Liz, people all across the country are contacting us on a daily basis, wanting to be part of this journey now. And as we're getting, you know, we get the excitement out of getting the call and getting that. But when we rock up at people's doors and they want to feed us, they want to house us, they want to look after us, because they're so realise how important the tour is. And, you know, it's not just about me going off and shouting my mouth off. This is about really trying to bring to the forefront the importance of British farming, what it has to offer. Do you know what, Liz? We went yesterday, the day before yesterday, we went to this farm. Guy's in his, I'm guessing late 60s, this guy called Steve, and he's got this farm. His daughter works with him, who's in her late 20s, and they spend all day just growing vegetables. He walked us around the polytunnels, the greenhouses. We picked some strawberries. We dug up some new potatoes. Liz, this is what it's about. And unfortunately, we've forgotten as consumers what good food tastes like. And that's the bit what needs driving home. We've got to get the public, you know, in the audience today, and, you know, the further afield audience, as they watch this, start to really push. One of the things I've been pushing on the tour is to get people to write to their local farmers, asking them what they produce, what can they spend their money on at that farm. Because every pound we take away from a supermarket, it isn't a pound taken away, it's £2. because we take a pound away and we gain a pound for us guys. This is about taking the system down from the inside out, I'm afraid. You know, I know you guys with the new party being set up. For me, that's been really exciting to obviously be involved in that and get involved as we're going round. Liz, I have to say, we've run out of flyers. I only wish I knew where I was going to be. I've actually got an address to get tonight for you for Rotherham, where we're going to be staying to get some leaflets. It's just been mind-blowing to talk to the people on the ground what they want to see from a political party as well. That's been really interesting. Lots of people who say, I don't vote, when I get talking to them about the necessity for fighting this on the inside as well as the outside, then they want to know how to join. And that, to me, is absolute icing on the cake. It's exactly where we need to be. And I know, obviously, I'm in Grimsby today, Liz, and I know you've spoken to someone this week about the fishing trawlers and, you know, how there was over 400 fishing trawlers just in Grimsby. And now there's down to, what, 20?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. I think there's two in Hull. Apparently, Hull are not as big with the number of fleet, but had more fish going through it. Was bigger on that side than Grimsby, and Hull, I think, are down to 2.
Sorry,
and we wouldn't be so bad, but we're an island. You know, for goodness sake, fish is as important to us, or should be, and it was to me when I owned and 100%. Ran my restaurants. It was as important to me. Fish was as important as meat, and it should be. You know, we've let it slip. And Mike was saying, Mark, you're like this, that what happened to the fishing industry, they're doing exactly the same modus operandi with the farming industry.
Yes,
they worked it out with the fishing industry, and they've done it exactly the same. And his talk will say that. I won't preclude that because Mike did that earlier. So that it is a destruct. That is all the government knows, is destruct the food industry, no matter where it's coming from. Meat, vegetables, fruit, fish, all destroy.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I've been contemplating, Liz, is after we finish this tour, obviously this year, next year, we're going to have a greater opportunity to do this, because next year we're going to know all the contacts, all the town contacts. We're going to know who the people are who came to the talks. For me, I think next year has got to be a slightly different tour. I'd like to take a mobile kitchen on tour next year and get people and farmers to bring their produce to the table and actually go around getting people to sample absolutely fantastic quality British food. And so that's something we're going to be starting to look at. You know, we need to get support for this sponsorship, however that looks, I don't know. And we need a tour bus because the camper van's not big enough.
Can I just tell you, having owned and run 3 restaurants, to me, and we changed the dinner menu every night, the lunch menu every week. We had but everything was home done and everything was home produced. And to me, it's so important. And the vegetables are equally as important as the meat. So when you're having a Sunday lunch, to me, you don't want soggy old vegetables that have been boiling away for 3 hours. They want to be done spot on you know. So I'm so excited. I just wish I was sort of probably 40 years younger, but 20 would be a help. And, you know, but to see cooking on the day, a bit like Floyd or the hairy bikers or the 2 fat ladies that used to go, they're the sort of people. James Martin was another good person out on the road. And they're the people you want, Mark, who'll come and cook this lovely produce. It tastes so different. People have got no idea what food should taste like now.
Well, Liz, what I can say is, as we've been travelling around, we've been blessed. I have to say blessed with people feeding us. We've been given some amazing food. We've visited some amazing farms where they've got raw milk, where we've been able to get butter, cheese. That may be from a dispenser, that may be direct from the bucket, whatever that needed to look like. We've been blessed to be able to have meat and chickens donated for us to, you know, eat, and all sorts. The taste is what this year for me is about, Liz, and this journey has been about. To, you know, put aside British farming, we produce the best food in the world, the highest quality, the highest standards, and that is deliberately being smashed to bits. And I say to anybody in the audience today that we have to fight back against this. Start looking at where you can buy your food that does not involve a supermarket. So whether that's a farm shop, a box scheme, a food hub, whatever that needs to look like. If anyone's got any questions, message me at thebowlerhatfarmer.com and ask the question of where they can find them across the country. We've got a meeting to do on Friday with a local greengrocer who's getting heavily into the organic side. Liz, the people are asking for change. We've done over 40, I think we're on 44 events now since the first one with you in February. That's collated to thousands of people. Thousands. As you know, there's normally 100 to 200 people in a room. And, you know, so that's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 people that we've spoken to now. They're all saying the same thing, Liz. They all want chemical-free food. This says to me the farmers really need to step up and be counted for what's going on, because if they don't, they can keep supplying the supermarkets with the trash what goes into processed food. But the bottom line is people are wanting a change, and the only people who can deliver that is the farmers, not the supermarkets.
Yeah, and the farmers have got to have confidence, Mark, that if they do produce this, that we'll go out and buy it. So it's a two-way contract, if you like. You produce, we'll buy from you, but we must make sure that we, the public, actually support them and do that. And we're growing here. When I've got an excess of plants, I shall get, you know, sell off or give away the plants, etc. Yeah. We've got so much going on here. And, you know, going back again to when I was on the farm, father was a pig farmer, really, but we had chickens for eggs. Of course, this was just literally just post-war. We had 2 Jersey cows for milk, and mum used to make all our butter and all our cheese. And of course, I'm not, they can't be had up now, but in the country, we never starve, Mark, do we? Because we've got eggs, next door's got butter. So you give me half a pound of butter and I'll give you half a dozen eggs, or a rabbit or whatever. So we never starve out in the country. I don't know. I know we had rationing books for things like sugar and flour, but nothing else ever seemed to ever to trouble us really a lot in the country. Yeah. We just worked between, everybody worked between themselves. And yes. I'm afraid we've got to go back to it.
Oh, lost you. Oh, you've frozen, Liz.
No, you're all right. You're back. It's you froze at your end. I was fine. It's okay. You're okay.
Okay.
Mark, thank you for updating us. I can't say enough. I'm going to miss you, and so will all our audience. You know, you'll be greatly missed by us, but we'll catch up with you again. And as regards the leaflets, you'll certainly have them when you get to Northumberland, if I can't get them to you before, to Durham. Okay.
No. Liz, I know just one thing before you go. I know you've got Sandra Murphy speaking on stage today. She got to making butter for the first time in her life with Gloria at the weekend. So I hope she's going to share that round.
Yeah, can I just tell you, I shall make sure it happens. Okay.
Liz, thanks, love to you guys. Sorry, everybody, I can't be there this time, and we'll see you next time.